Welcome in, everyone, to this Date for Date podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Matthews, bringing you all things AZ. And today on the show, we have Melissa Anaya. I said it correctly because you Mexican girl. We're going to vibe all episode long here. And if you're a foodie like me, she's discovered my foodie tendencies pre-recording here. We'll get into all of that. But I'm sure you've bookmarked her content on IG. Literally, I went through mine. Tons bookmark, places I want to go, restaurants, vibes, food. So you literally have the best job. And I want to know how you get it, like how you created this whole empire. And we're going to get into that. But first, we're going to play a little game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, are you ready?
Yeah,
Let's go.
I'm ready.
It's just a way for everyone to get to know you a little better.
Okay.
Right? Because you're a lot of times like the voice behind your content, right? And like you'll be out up front and you'll do some on camera stuff, but really getting to know you behind the scenes. Okay? All right. So first question, really the only reason I have notes here, so I make sure I ask all the questions. All right. When I was younger, I wanted to be...
a dancer.
Me too.
Yes.
I did find out you danced in high school,
Yes.
middle school. Okay.
Yes, yeah, middle school and high school.
So did you want to be like a backup dancer or on the main stage?
Main stage, I loved choreographing. That was like one of my favorite things to do. And I always got in trouble a little bit for my dances. They were always a little bit too sexy.
Oh, she's like, wait.
Mature.
Let's define this. Were you twerking at 7 before twerking was even?
You know, I was really into Madonna.
Yeah,
so
that tells you.
Paula Abdul.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Love
and
it.
I did Cold Hearted Snake, and I fully did where you go down on your leg and you smack your butt. My teacher was like, "You are not smacking your butt in like a high school show." And I made the girls slide between their legs.
Wait, we sound like soul sisters because there have been some things that I in high school. I don't have the footage; it doesn't exist, but I did some things in high school on the dance floor.
I loved it. I loved that style
amazing.
then. I loved the jazz and the Chicago and like all that whole style.
I'm picturing like a Mean Girls scene when you're just on stage and you're slapping and
it might have been a little bit of that.
You're slapping the thigh, you're doing the roll up. Oh my God, I loved it. Such a good visual. Okay, now moving on to food.
Love it.
Okay, this might be hard for you.
Okay.
You probably get it a lot, but what is your favorite restaurant in Arizona?
Oh, okay. I get this all the time. And my answer is, it depends on the cuisine.
Which is my next question.
Oh gosh, there's so many. Okay, if I could eat at a place over and over and over, where would I go? I would have to say, oh gosh. Oh, you're putting me on the spot. You're putting me on the spot. Has to be Mexican. Oh my God. Espos. I love Espos. I've been a big fan of them. They're a little house off of Chandler Boulevard behind the Fashion Square Mall. It's been around for so long. It is one of my favorite Mexican spots.
I've seen it. Now that you put the visual, I definitely have gone past it. And I was like, esposo. I just didn't know what it was, what kind of home. Okay.
It's so good.
I love that. Hole
Get
in
their
the
green
wall.
chili. Anything. Just get anything. It's so good.
Gosh, my favorite Mexican, not really hole in the wall. It's now more established, but I grew up going to it, was El Comedor. Guadalajara. Have you ever been there?
No.
Ooh, sending you to your next restaurant. Content piece. Let's go. I'll go with you.
Yeah, do it all day long. Let's do it.
Literally.
Let's just wrap this thing up now. We'll
Okay,
just go
we're
there.
going.
Yeah.
I was telling Nick before we started, I'm like, this episode's going to be really challenging for me. We both have not eaten, only cupcakes and like high sugar foods. It's his birthday. And I have not consumed any real food yet.
I would have known. I would have brought it. We could have like.
That would have been the perfect episode. I don't know why we didn't think about that. Nick. Producer, just kidding. Yeah. No, you're the director. I'm the producer.
No, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Co-host. I don't even know anymore. But yeah, I'm gonna be salivating this whole episode.
I love it. I got some spots for you.
If I'm drooling, just don't think of it like it's not weird or anything. Okay, so we found out hole in the wall, best place. Okay, how about for you?
Okay.
In the kitchen, what is your go-to dish to cook?
I cook this all the time. My kids, oh God. I cook everything with lemon, garlic and capers and white wine.
Ooh, I mean, wow.
Every dish is always like some sort of chicken or shrimp over either rice or pasta. And we eat so much lemon and garlic and white wine dishes all day long.
Amazing.
My kids are like, they even said, they're like, you should just open a restaurant called like Lemon and Garlic.
And capers in my
Yeah.
I love capers.
Not enough things have capers.
No.
They're so good.
I know.
so good.
So good.
love
and
them.
not enough
I didn't
people
know
love
it.
capers. Like we all had the same reaction here.
There used to be a place in downtown Chandler that was, I think now it's like Craft 64, but whatever
yeah.
the Italian place that was there beforehand,
Rustica? Something
like
rustica.
that.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, they had a chicken and like white sauce with capers.
I told
type of
you, I'm
dish. It was so
drooling
good.
All day long
So
on
good.
everything.
Yeah.
Fish, shrimp, chicken, all the things.
All the
Yes.
things.
But this is gonna be tough.
This is gonna be a hard episode,
Yeah,
y'all. I
it is.
hope you have eaten.
You guys are going to be running out to go eat as soon as this
Move
is
aside, Melissa.
stops.
Sit down. Well, we also have water to drink with, but I like the wine
Yeah.
option here. We'll do that next time you're
Yes,
on.
perfect.
Okay. Next question and final question.
Okay.
My favorite quote is.
Oh, it's my favorite one. You're not crying because you quit. Don't cry to quit. Oh my God! Now,
No, I read it. I have it in my notes, not the
Oh
ones
my
I have.
gosh.
It's don't cry. Hang on.
yes,
We need to get a tattoo
yeah,
on you. Girl.
yeah.
I was
yeah.
hoping that you were gonna keep it to like food and say it's
No,
emerald
it's
and
my
just go
favorite.
bam.
No,
You know?
Eat,
It's
pray,
the
love.
story behind it is you're not crying because you quit. You're crying because it's hard.
There it is.
Yeah,
Boom. She knows it.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah,
You're crying because, well, I mean, I don't like to cry.
Yeah,
a lot, but
yeah.
I see what you're saying.
yeah. It's on my Instagram from July 4th, 2017.
Is there a meaning behind it?
There is. Yeah. It's a little deep. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
Let's dive
yeah.
deep. Deep dish.
So when I first started my business, I was pretty reckless in the beginning. We got a pretty big, with my partner at the time, we got a pretty big contract that we shouldn't have gotten, but we did. And we thought that we could go out and they kept giving us this contract. So we got pretty reckless one time and we went out and we thought we were going to be paid on the next one and spent all the money. And yeah, partied. We used to party pretty hard.
Okay.
And so we spent a pretty decent amount of money in Vegas and pretty much jerked around for like 30 days. And then they canceled the contract. So all of our existing contracts that were coming in, we had to pay back or we would have been sued big time. It was a big learning. And so we ended up losing our house in the process. Yep. And used all that money. We lived with my parents on their couch and did all these crazy things. And we were out of money. And we were in our last, we stayed in hostels. We stayed with my parents. And we were leaving and we were out of money. And I got in the car and I broke down and started crying. And I started going through YouTube and motivational videos. And that came on. And it made so much sense. I thought that I was failing, but I wasn't because I didn't quit. I was still going. And then from that day, I had only a little bit of money. I went to a marketing convention called Meltdown in the Desert. And I was like, I'm doing it. I got to go. And I went and one of the speakers, which is really crazy if you're into, you guys are into podcasts.
Yes.
Right. Was Tom Bilyeu.
Okay.
And he is one of the top guys up there. And it was like a game changer. And from there, I hired a coach and kind of just changed my life.
Wow.
Yeah, right after that. Yeah.
So what business was this?
It was still the same business, just it wasn't social media. It was all the things that we were trying, we put all our strong suits together and was like, oh, I can do events. And, he covered the UFC fights. And so we'd go to Vegas and, he would interview UFC fighters and I would be doing the social media. And we put on the very first Chandler Film Festival, which is super crazy. And now it's huge. Yeah. Wild things, just so many different things.
Wow.
Yeah. Just anything we could do to printing. Well, one of our first printing clients was Craft 64.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
We used to do all his t-shirts. We printed for restaurant. It was So we did so many different things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which now led you to
Only
where you
social
went to.
media.
Only social media. So for those listening, I didn't do a great job of introducing what you do other than we just went straight to the food. We just, you basically eat and drink for a living.
Yeah.
Is that like the best way to describe
That's
a little bit of what you do?
much it. Yeah. I got a mouth and a stomach and somehow turned it into a business.
Monetization. You are the smartest entrepreneur ever.
You need to put that on a shirt for sure.
That's a shirt. Yeah. Are we collabing now? Are we collab friends? So let's go into how this came to be. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you have a history here that we can get into as well. So how did Eat, Drink, AZ kind of the worth of it come to be?
Okay, so we were doing all those different things. And we got our very first restaurant client at the time, which was Los Taquitos.
Oh,
yeah. Yes. We lived right by the Chandler location at Whole Foods. And then from there, ended up getting another restaurant, Carson's in Old Town, and then Sip, coffee and beer. And those were like my OG clients. And then AZ88 jumped on board, and I had about 4 or 5. And I realized that I loved social media, but I knew that there was more to it than just posting. So I ended up going on Craigslist at the time because that was like how you found stuff. Yeah. Yes. Not for personals.
All right. Yeah, don't do that.
So, and I found at the time a Facebook advertising expert. And so I trained with her for like 30 days and went and met her, and she showed me the back end of Facebook and advertising. Wow. And so I went and added it to, the clients that we had, and increased, our... Go ahead.
So when people listening are like, what just happened? But my image goes straight to, or what I want to ask next is, when you had these clients originally, what were you doing with them? Like,
posting on social. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would go in with my phone, take photos of their food and their drinks. Then it was just really
like
photos. Old school. And just post their stuff.
Yeah,
that's it. Just post their stuff.
Nice.
And I was doing it because my partner at the time he covered the UFC fights. So we had a lot of sports clients. So I had now half sports and half food, but I was never passionate about the sports side. And so I said, hey, I want to go and I want to do nothing but food. And that was something he wasn't real thrilled about. So, it led to us separating, but I ended up saying, I'm going to start my own LLC and go run this thing. And I think I've always been in the food space. I never went to college or anything, and, just thought I would bartend, and, not that there's anything wrong with that. I just, I didn't know what to do. And so somehow created a business out of social media and learned the entire back end and realized that it just wasn't about posting a photo, that Meta is actually an advertising platform.
Truly.
Yeah.
So you're like the old school, here's my dinner, my cereal bowl. I remember I used to post things like that.
Yeah.
Nick, I know you did too.
Filters.
No, never. He's like, I've always been a
never
creative.
Really been a big food person. Although
but everyone would post what they're eating or at the restaurant and do the overview with the filter.
The filter.
The filter and an inspirational quote that had nothing to do with the food.
Oh God, all the quotes, all the quotes.
So you got into that. You started to see, okay, wait, there's true monetization, but really now upping the level of how you were taking on your clients.
Yes. And so I realized that I only wanted to do social media marketing for restaurants. So I actually got rid of all the MMA clients, all the sports clients that we had. Solely, those were the few clients that I had were able to, I was able to survive off of them. And then I was like, cool, I'm a social media expert. Let's go out and hit the road and start getting restaurant clients. I started emailing them, and I knew, what time from working in the industry to show up and find a GM or an owner, which is 1:30 p.m. on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And they were like, we don't know who you are. Like, go get in line. Here's our card. Like, they had never heard of me. And I was like, all right, this isn't like panning out. And so I had a camera at the time, and I said, I'm going to start producing videos. I have to become a trusted source in the industry. And then I was really into funnel marketing. And I said, I'm going to create a trusted source, and this will be my funnel. Eat, Drink, AZ will be my funnel that will lead to the agency. is pretty much the whole reason why I built Eat, Drink, AZ. So then I started recording videos, and no one was really doing videos then at all. So I went, and I think I did my first one at Handcut and Oban, and I told them I was great at it. I think the first video took me like 7 hours. I was so nervous. They would like come over, and like the chef would watch me, and I'd just start like sweating, beet red. I couldn't even speak on camera. It was terrible. The Oban chef said to me, he's like, do you guys think you're going to like wrap up? Because it's been a really long time. It was
like, take 59.
I faked it until I made it.
Yeah.
And then I started spending my own money. The little bit that I had, I started running ads, on all of my content, pushing it out, because I was like, that's what you do. And so I grew Eat, Drink, AZ pretty fast by spending ads on videos. Reels weren't around. It was just regular, the other dimension with your videos. And then from there, it just slowly started picking up and picking up and picking up. And then Eat, Drink, AZ ended up becoming its own business, which I, never even really imagined. And then that opened the door to Eat, Drink Creative Agency.
So insane.
Yeah.
Truly taking something that's like everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
But how can you find a way to make it, your own, your passion? I mean, we all passionate about food.
Yeah.
And then monetize it, and now you have this big business around it. It's amazing.
And it's food, and it's fun. No one's gonna
turn down food.
I picked like one of the easiest industries.
Truly.
I'm not advertising a chiropractic office or a dentist office or all this other social media. Wow. It's food. Like, everyone has to eat.
When did you make this? Oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying, oddly enough, I watched a video yesterday of Mr. Beast.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he was talking about how he's going to make a couple $100 million this year in chocolate, because that's what he stepped into as far as walking. Like, he didn't walk away from videos by any means, but like, he just wanted to get into like the food area, and he stepped into chocolate because Nestle or like Hershey's and Mars are like the only two, and like they're hundreds of years old, and no one else has ever really stepped into the market, essentially. So he stepped in, made something that's a little bit healthier, a little bit better, and is making hundreds of millions of dollars.
Wow.
Because like his thought process was like, this is just easy, and it's just like, I'm sure there's so much behind it. It doesn't make it easy, but it's food.
Wow.
People love chocolate.
Genius.
People just love chocolate, right?
Yeah.
Like it's crazy when he broke it down to how simple that is, simply to how you're saying too. It's like, it's just eating and drinking food. Everyone loves that.
Yeah.
Literally, we're gonna turn this podcast into
a food series.
Stay 48. Now we got to collab with every restaurant that we have.
I love it.
Either the beginning or the end of every episode, Lisa will eat something on camera.
Yeah.
Yes.
Down.
Yes.
Down.
Yes.
You do not have to
we
tell
can
me
make this
twice.
happen.
We are making this happen.
I know some restaurants.
Yeah, you sure do, girl. My question is, so
Yeah.
when you started, you said you were primarily on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
when
Instagram.
did you make that switch to is it only on Instagram now?
So
but TikTok as well now.
Yeah. So Instagram, when that started, kicking off in like 2012, I would say, it was just like the photos. But when I jumped on board with the videos, I would say that was 2019, I would say. And then obviously 2020 and TikTok and Reels came around, and then that just shot everyone through the roof. That was fire. Yeah, fire. Literally fire.
I love it.
So then, Eat, Drink, AZ grew even more, and the restaurants were not able to just, bring people in during the pandemic. So I was like, this is my time. Like, I'm ready now. And so I started doing pretty bold campaigns, and AZ88, we did a to-go Jartini campaign running ads and geofencing all of Old Town Scottsdale. And let me tell you, the line for AZ88 during the pandemic was banging for Jartinis and takeout. People were gathering around the parks. They had to get police involved to like get people to like leave. It was huge. And then other restaurants jumped on board for takeout ads.
That's
because how else are they going to do it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Truly. I'm thinking back to that time, which I can't believe it was 3 years ago. But that was like, you really capitalized on a time of need, of necessity, but also getting people still feeling part of a community and getting out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did a lot of bike riding, picking up food and drinks, and going to parks around that time. Like, honestly, I miss it. Not that I like condone drinking in public, but at the same time, there was a certain
your bike.
I mean, half of cycling.
It was pretty allowed
drinking
then.
coffee and alcohol at some point. It was though.
It was survival mode.
There were no rules.
No rules.
But at the same time, it was like no one was being stupid about it either.
Yeah,
like
true.
it was just like, hey, I just want to gather with people in the park, and we want to eat and drink because we can't do it where we would normally do it. And there was like everyone policed each other, and no one really did anything bad. It was nice.
You actually like enjoyed outside, which we've never done, is sit outside and put up. I was like, I can't even. I don't even know if I've ever laid a blanket down in a park and just had lunch, and it was so amazing. And I remember everyone just saying, like, God, why don't we do this more? Like, why doesn't this happen?
There are a lot of moments.
And then now it went away. Again.
Well,
so
hopefully
we can bring it back.
We hold it back. Yeah, we hold on.
We have
to
a State 48 blanket. We'll give you. You
Right?
just go
we got
take
it all.
some new food.
Picnic. I'll provide the food. You're gonna eat it.
I'm ready. You already know how I like my steak, so you already know how I like
bloody.
my steak.
Real bloody.
With horseradish. It's a thing.
I love it.
Okay, so I want to get into for you, in the beginnings of how you started finding these places. What it's truly you walking into the restaurants. And knocking on their door and saying, hey, I have this opportunity. Yeah. When did you start to see that catch fire, where those relationships, like that trust was built?
You know what? Crazy. I remember watching other influencers and, people that had get invited to like media events and, see a lot of paid campaigns. And you could tell, I'd always be like, wow, like, I'm going to all these events. Anyone that was at an event that was, someone in the industry, I would be like, can I take a picture with you? And I would post it, right? Made it look like I knew them.
Okay. Strategy.
Yeah.
Smart strategy.
So I would post it on Facebook. I've always used all my outlets for business, and I would, just post them up and, great meeting, Christina Right on Ruby and Joey Majori and like, all these people in the industry that I looked up to. And then, sorry, backtracking a little bit. So then I always wondered, like, when would I start, really getting invited and, DMs happening of restaurants, and really, it's awesome, but it's also kind of sad in like a weird way, but it's only when your numbers got to a certain level on social media is when all of a sudden those DMs start like flying in, and we want you here now, and we want you there, and where can you be, and and then you get hyped up on that. So then you're like yes, and it's a lot of food, and it's a lot of drinking, and they really wine and dine you. So then I spent 2 years growing that and just eating and drinking around the entire valley. Spent a whole month with Chelsea, Let Them Eat This, and we went and did a whole up north tour for 30 days. Wow. And cover, because I was like, we just don't want to be Phoenix, we want to be the whole state of Arizona. And we were the two first people to go and tap into the Tucson market. I'm like, everyone leaves Tucson. I'm like, they have a great, if I said it in a video, I said they have a great foodie capital, and I got lit on fire. Like people were, oh God, people don't like Tucson for, and it's crazy. And I was like, we kept going back, and we didn't care. And we're like, food is delicious here.
It's so good.
It really is very good.
Mexican.
It's so
top
good.
notch. Top notch.
Yes.
You could call those people closed-minded individuals that won't travel outside of their own city.
So good.
Truly. Yeah. Well, what I love about you too is you're a native, so you're passionate about this state and covering all four corners of the state too, and really showcasing that. I think that's shown so authentically in your coverage, because one, it gets us excited as the viewer, as the person, looking through and think, oh my gosh, I'm saving this for my date night or a family dinner. That looks delicious. It's all about getting out there, in that communal feel.
Absolutely.
I would say. My question is, what is that like niche like as far as the community within different foodies? I want to know, is there drama?
There is drama. I feel like
I was wondering, I'm like, who's going to get to that restaurant first? Who has the better?
There is. So, I'm not in that game. I never was, and I always think that that's why, Chelsea is, I think she is like the top food creator now in Arizona. She's about to hit 200K. She has the largest food TikTok account. I'm friends with all of them. Welcome to Arizona, which I know you guys work with. I never competed in that space because my goal was never to be a top food influencer. I knew that I'd be hiring them, and we do hire them to bring them into our restaurants. Smart. So I wanted to create great relationships with them.
Oh, damn.
You know, so
she's like, I'm gonna be the top dog, truly here. I'm gonna let you all come over here.
So, you know,
that's so smart.
I was never competitive. I'm not saying there isn't where I got, you know, there is a little bit of that, you know, when you're like, growing your brand, you have to have a little bit. I'm not saying
you have to be competitive.
It didn't exist, but you know, I never was like, never felt like I was competing against them in a, you know, a hardcore way. And they really do, you know, in that food space, they want to be the first people to drop. So if there's a new place opening and they have the dibs on it, they want to, that goal is to get that video out. So the really cool part is that when me and Chelsea worked together, she would get a place or I would get a place and we would bring each other. So we actually, which was really cool because so many of them are competitive, but what, you know, a lot of them don't realize is that their content is different from everyone else's. They have there's a little bit of overlapping, but their audiences are all very different. Like my bar and booze and like vibey bougie stuff pops off. I go try to do a boba shop. I won't even work with boba shops anymore because they're just going to tank on my page.
Yeah.
Like it's
you
just
find your own within.
Yeah. Donuts and boba shops just don't perform on my page, you know, but like me
do
and
they
Chelsea
perform in your heart though?
Yeah, that's a true
the real question.
all day long, those little tapioca balls all day long, popping them in my mouth. That sounded kind of weird,
you know
too.
what? I wasn't going to say it. I'm going to let the viewers take it where they want to go. And that's what we do here.
Oh, my God. Food porn.
Okay, yeah, that's allowed. That's allowed. It's a great pun. I was trying to throw some puns around, but then I thought it would get really corny. But I was like, yeah, let's deep dish. Let's dive deep.
Let's dive deep.
Nick was like,
there's so many.
I saw the deep dish. I heard the deep dish. I was like,
he laughed at me.
Yeah.
He laughed at me.
Speaking about corny, though, elote. I'm new to elote, and it's delicious.
It's delicious.
I think I was here for his first elote experience.
No, that's not true. No. It isn't true. I'm sorry. Elote, the only elote
like
I've really eaten is from Tacos Chiwas.
And we sat here in our...
No. We didn't. You can't get it here. It's only in Phoenix. The Chandler Tacos Chiwas doesn't have it.
What do we have in the cup?
It was. I didn't like that one. That was from...
We're not going to say who. We don't say who.
I can't say who. It was just, I didn't like that one.
Feel you on that.
Yeah.
I promise I won't tell anyone who it is.
Corny. I can't. This is off the rail. I didn't know you were going to go like, okay, elote, and it was next.
He's proud of it. Look at him owning it.
I'm new to it. I didn't want it for a long time. My girlfriend ate it all the time. I was like, I don't know, that doesn't look good.
Bomb.
I tried it once, and I was like, I have never been more wrong.
Yeah. You know what?
I can admit it.
It's not that weird. I mean, you're from Arizona. It's super popular. It's everywhere.
Speaking to Mexicans right now, we're done with you. Okay, so I want to know for you, has there been, and this kind of falls in line perfectly, has there been a place where you went to showcase and you were like, and you don't have to say who, what, where, and why. Obviously, we don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but where you're like, it wasn't that good. Like, I have to stretch things a little bit here, but you want to stay true to your audience. Has there been scenarios like that?
I would say very few, and there's a reason why. I believe that there's a customer for every restaurant. Number two, here's the hard part. When they know that I'm coming or other influencers are coming, you're getting the best service. The dish probably don't even look like that half the time. It very rare that people are super authentic to how it's served. It's like the chef is taking extra time to plate it because they know it's being videoed. Service is top notch. What I will say is I've been back to the places that I thought that were and got a very different experience the second time. But with that being said, I'm not, and I say this all the time, I'm not a food critic. True. I am not. I am just selling a place to a potential customer. It may fit in their budget. You got to remember too, not a lot of people, even me growing up, I didn't know what great food was. Honestly, we ate green beans out of a can and, it was as generic as it got with something. So a mediocre restaurant may be fantastic to someone depending on their price point and what neighborhood they're from. So for me, that restaurant still has a potential customer that can fit it. So I've never really looked at it like that.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Now, if I were to really judge places and I'd be like, not hot enough, not sweet enough. Like, of course, because I've tasted so much excellent food, but I walk into that with a very different mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the best of the best. You've had the best.
The best, yeah.
So when you walk in as a regular schmegular person, you're like, wait, this isn't where's my flour toppings? Where's my cilantro?
I was like, where's my drink? It delivered here last time in under 30 seconds. It's been 10 minutes.
Influencers in the wild, though.
Influencers
you guys
in
are
the wild.
out there making it work.
Yeah.
So my question always is, okay, you have the content, you're showcasing them. In the beginning, did it start as like a handshake, situation, or now obviously you have to have a lot of more tangible like transaction set, paper, all the things that make it obviously run for your business. So how did you kind of come to that beast in your business now where it is like contracts and all of that, and how do you manage that as well as being the creative?
Yeah, so that was actually really hard because the first 2 years I spent my money, but I looked at it like a business. So I was spending money on ads to grow Eat, Drink, AZ, the time, the hotels. That 30-day trip with me and Chelsea was, not cheap. We got some things comped, but not everything. That's gas, going to Tucson. Yeah. When people don't work with you in the beginning, you're paying for all that food in order to get the content. And those bills were pretty big, then in order to get them. So
would you pay to eat at these restaurants and then showcase them and hope there's a relationship?
It was to grow the numbers in order to get to a point where it became a business. Wow. Yeah. So it was a lot of money spending, in the beginning to grow it.
So how do you keep your focus on, like, I know I can get here. I don't know when that's going to be. So in the midst, like the meat.
Yeah.
You guys, that's another pun.
In the meat.
And the meat
Can
of
we
it.
just do all food puns?
No, but if you're looking at it, like that was like truly the meat of you being able to then be what you are today, right? It's like that. It was that journey, the process that makes you. And I'm sure you still have bigger goals from here on that we'll talk about. But how do you just stay focused in like the spending and you're seeing the debt and maybe numbers not moving as fast as you want them to?
Yeah. I've just always believed you got to spend some to make some, I guess, in the back of my mind. Yeah. So for me, it was a business investment, and investment in myself. I wanted to own a business. It was something that, has been really big for me because I was a stay-at-home mom, with my 2 kids, married until 2012. And then, I got a divorce and I didn't know what to do. So, I bartended and then eventually, met my partner at the time and we turned it into that business earlier that we were talking about. But I just knew, I was like, I have to like do something, So the focus was always, how am I going to get there? And these are the things that just have to happen in order to make it happen, and it was fun along the way too,
Absolutely. It's almost like finding yourself through it too.
Yeah. The only thing that, took a toll was my butt because of all the food.
Girl, I'm like, what? You walking a lot? You doing like that's?
Oh, I have gained some.
No, honestly, you look fabulous and amazing, and we're not even gonna go there, please. But you see those shows where what's his name goes around and he's like he's in his RV doing like the stair climber.
Oh my God, no, I have not. Oh my gosh.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Eating deliciously.
Yes. And it's hard and like it's so good. And sometimes you can't stop eating.
Yeah. Well, I would ask for like, give me a fourth because now I have to get dessert and then I have to go to this other restaurant for,
I've been to like 5 restaurants in the same day before. Yeah.
Oh my
gosh.
Yeah. So in the midst of building this business, you have this dream and you're going after it, the investment that entails, the time, money, all of that. What was your reaction? Because I'm sure it came up when people would say like, what are you working for? Like, what are you doing? What is this? Because they don't truly understand this space, this digital space, the money that is there as well, but the outreach that you have as well. So what was kind of your reaction, or what will you tell people that you're working towards in the midst of that?
The end goal was always the agency. So, when that conversation came up, it was about the food, but it was always about the restaurants for me, and getting to a place where we could really help them. So they were pretty easy conversations to have, you know, because I have an end goal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just imagine a lot of conversations, especially ones that are, you know, a business that's solely in like the social selling form or just platformed online. It's like people can't really wrap their head around there that there is big business there.
Yeah.
That is where everything is trending.
Yeah.
Quite truthfully. And you know, they almost look at it like as a hobby. Oh, this is a little thing you're doing on the side. You're carrying your cute little camera around. You're taking cute food. And you're like, hello. I'm making that cheddar.
Yep.
Another one for you.
Yes. It's true. The cheddar.
She gets them late, and I love it. Like, you don't, in real time, it don't hit you, but then.
That's because I'm in a food coma.
Wow.
We're done. We're cut off.
Amazing.
We're cut off. We're drunk.
Yeah. I have a question. Lisa, I'm sorry if this cuts off what you got, but back to like favorites, and we can do like last month or something like that. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner can all be different spots. I'm looking for like an answer from each. Yeah.
Okay. Wren and Wolf for their new brunch.
Okay.
Delicious. I would say lunch. Somewhere new. Oh God.
It doesn't have to be new.
Oh, okay. Trying to think. God, I don't do a lot of lunches.
Open market.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of lunches. That's like work time. I do a lot of breakfasts on like the weekends and then dinners. Okay. I'm like a dinner girl. I would say one of my favorite restaurants right now that I keep going to is Campo.
Okay, where's that?
That is at Via Linda and Scottsdale Road, where Rockefeller is. That's the Genuine Concepts. They own the VIG.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I love Campo.
What do you get there?
It's so good. They're shrimp and lobster pasta, Malfadini pasta.
With capers and wine.
No, this one's actually a red one, but it's so good. They have excellent mussels and white wine and garlic and lemon.
Well, we need those. We found out we need those. Wow. Now I have you drooling a little bit.
You know, lunch, if I do lunch, I kind of like going to like the Mexican spots and getting tacos, Taqueria Factory. Love Taqueria Factory. I'm actually going there right after this.
Dude, you're making me so hungry.
That's one of our partners, so good plug there. Appreciate that.
Yes, appreciate it. It's all coming together.
Yeah, right.
Is that your favorite like street taco?
Street taco?
You need to go crush 4 tacos.
There's
where you
so many of them.
I understand.
They're
tacos
all great in their own way.
I just like
That's
the cart.
a hard question. That one's tough with the street tacos. So many good spots.
Just know if it's on wheels, it's going to be delicious.
Oh,
period.
Better. It's even better.
Street tacos.
If it's not like on an unknown street, it's probably even better.
A dark. If you're out late,
you feel like you're going to get mugged.
Yes, exactly.
That's the best place.
We're not saying to put yourself in these situations.
The place that looks most questionable is the best place.
It's the best. Always. Oh my god.
In Mexico, I say I'm probably eating gato tacos. I don't even know.
I am not messing with no gato or lengua. I don't do the lengua. Not happening.
I won't do that either.
Not happening. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, we only have a few minutes left here.
Okay.
I want to move into what's next for you. You have the agency. What do you really see this entity, this business becoming as things continue to change? I know you can't forecast what the next 5 years really look like. Yeah. As you've probably experienced, just the shift in social media and the digital space. Yeah. But what's like your big dreams with this?
Definitely, the Arizona market, but would love to do this on a national level would be goal. We're also doing a lot of different things, not just social media. So we're trying to get into the space of automation for our clients, since that's kind of the way that everything's going.
How do you automate that when you have to have a personal relationship?
Well, not so much. It's more of like the products and the software.
Got it.
So we're trying to do it with, SMS and the problem is in the restaurant space is that everyone uses third-party open table, third-party delivery apps. So we're not really able to track conversions in our space. So we're trying to get to that point by being able to maybe bring that in-house too as well.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So on a national level, is that a TV show?
So national level, national clients.
Okay.
So we want to be able to say that we can duplicate this in the digital space. It could be anywhere. Yeah. You just have to be able to find the content creators to bring in the content. But that can be done from anywhere.
So what does your days kind of look like now?
Yeah.
Because it used to be door to door, eating a lot of food.
Eating a lot of food,
So what does it look like now as you're kind of overseeing a lot more?
So I'm actually not going to a lot of restaurants anymore. So, we have a team, and our team is great, and they'll go out. They love going to the media events, so they'll go out, collect the content, meet and greet everyone and bring it back to me, post it, for me as far as Eat, Drink, AZ goes. One of my girls is one of our top content creators for the agency. She also, runs Eat, Drink, AZ and goes out and shoots my content, and I do the voiceover on it. And I have a 4K series that I go out and shoot with, restaurants. It's produced on a very high level. And then my day-to-day is really at a desk with our team, having team meetings and, talking about growth and, what we're doing for these clients and, how we can help them bring more butts in seats pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it wild too sometimes to take a step back and think of how big it's grown, what it's grown into now that you have truly a moving business with different parts now and hiring out different people?
Yes. Yeah. I love that part. That's like the most exciting part.
It started with a food pick.
Yeah.
Here we
just
are.
started with a food pick.
Being hungry and thirsty, and now we're here. I love it. Well, it was so nice to meet you. You're a dear friend of ours. First time meeting, but I feel like, we're cholas.
Yeah, I love
And now we have a whole episode of food puns for you.
Feel free to keep using them.
We're going to have to make a shirt, though. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Now
what was it? Stomach and mouth?
It was your quote.
We'll
have to look back at it, but I think it was
if you got a mouth and you got a stomach.
I have a mouth and a stomach, and somehow I made it a business.
There we go.
Boom, boom. Entrepreneurship at its best.
You can look back at that first picture, even be like, who knows what you'll become.
Right. You wanted to be a dancer.
Right. Like acting as if the food, who knows what the food will become.
Right. I love it.
He's thinking in real time, right?
We are.
He's the true creative that makes the shirts, and this is what happens.
I need a filter, and it shouldn't be this microphone.
Get that microphone away from you.
Oh my gosh.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Yes,
thank you for coming. I can't wait to share this episode, and we're going to get together for some dinner, prime rib,
all the things,
capers,
bloody steaks
with horseradish and a tortilla on the side. All right, we'll see you next week.